Hello everyone, I'm Beastly Eel, and in today's video we're going to be talking about the latest episode of Peacemaker. So this is episode 4, and it starts off with us finding out where the portal, or the way that the pocket dimension was created um, in the main universe. So it turns out that Peacemaker, his brother Keith, and his dad were out hunting when they were much younger. Went hunting, and his dad accidentally, well, to be fair, the dad didn't accidentally shoot anything. He purposely shot it. However, he thought it was a deer of some kind or some sort of game. However, what they found out was it was actually an alien that was shot. He then kills him, and it turns out that they found the portal in which the pocket dimension was found. I guess the best way to phrase it. So it was in the middle of the woods. One issue that I'll have that I'll talk about at the end of the episode of all this, of just this piece, but we'll talk about it a little bit later. So that's how the episode starts, and does the opening and everything else. So then we have Peacemaker, who is just coming out of his home, and coming into his home, I should say, from the pocket dimension, looking around and finally noticing all the bullet holes in his house, realizing that something actually happened, and he should be kind of concerned about it. So he goes looking for Eagly, and it turns out Eagly was in the fridge trying to get into the cold cuts. So Peacemaker basically shuts the door and everything else. While that's going on, we have Team Argus coming on to get to the house as quickly as possible. So we have a great interaction between John, Judo Master, um, Agent Fleur, and this the Eagle Hunter. So they're all basically trying to one up each other and everything else, and basically just talking about ridiculousness about the past and how John was really hoping that Judo Master was actually dead. However, they're agreeing that they're going to go to the house to take down Peacemaker. While that's going on, John texts or attempts to text Peacemaker to let him know to not be at the house because Argus is on his way. However, because he wasn't looking, there were a lot of spelling errors. A lot. So while Peacemaker is with Ely, he's looking at his phone and he's like, the heck is he sending me? And he puts two and two together. Oh, shoot, we gotta go. So he goes, grabs Eagly. Actually, no, that's not true. He goes and grabs the device that we see in the beginning of the episode, which we're assuming is what created the pocket or the entryway to the pocket dimension. So he then grabs it, grabs a cold cut for Eagly, and begins to escort Eagly out of the house. So he leaves right when Argus breaks in. While that's going on, we have them all in the house, and we have the Eagle Hunter and John outside looking around. However, we have the eagle hunter eating eagle droppings to determine what it ate in, before and its last meal, or the meal before that. Which I wish I could say it was just the weirdest thing to be seeing. Let's be honest. So anyway, John pushes the guy down when he was trying to get a shot at eagling, smacks his head right into the thing, causing him to bleed. So Peacemaker calls, or sorry, texts Adebayo, who had just gotten her ad in Top Soldier, and she was super excited about. And she goes and picks up Peacemaker. So he and Eagly get into her car and take off. Um, Actually, I lied a little bit because before that happens, he has to face Judo Master. So he gets into a fight with Judo Master and beats him. Um, it was actually a really intense fight. A lot of like what you would be expecting from wrestlers, which I thought was very interesting to see him fight that way. But anyway, a huge fight that eventually led to Peacemaker winning, but not killing. I want to make that very clear. Gets in the car with Eagly, with Adebayo, and they take off and they go to his grandfather's hunting cabin, and that's where they head to. The group then, Argus group, tries to regroup after finding what they're assuming is the closet with the lock on it. So while that's happening, they realize that they need John to figure this out. So they go to get John, who has now picked up the Eagle Hunter, who is now awoken, with a blood mark on his forehead, stating that he's, you know, wanting to know what happened and everything else, and explained it must have been the primal eagle. And he's like, John's like, I think you're just making this up as you go. And he's like, no, I know what I'm talking about, and then leaves. And John goes into the house. He gets a text from, does he get a text or a phone call? I feel like he calls him. But anyway, either way, he gets told by Peacemaker to stall as long as possible, and John's gonna try his best. So he basically tries to stall as long as possible before putting the device on the actual keypad. So he does so. He tries as long as he can. Unfortunately, he runs out of time, puts the device on. But also, we get to see a side of John that was really cool, where he's like, "You actually do get paid to deal with my BS because I am so talented that my shortcomings socially, you know, you will make up for it. So you have to literally deal with my faults." But anyway, he unlocks the device, but while that's happening, Peacemaker makes the new portal over at his grandfather's cabin and was successful. So when they opened the door technically was the pocket dimension for a split second, then shut, and then when they forced it back open again, it was back to being just a regular closet. So the leader, calls Rick Flag and explains that there was nothing in it but a closet, and clearly something's going on because they don't understand. So he explains he's going to go. So he gets an address for Hardcore and goes to see her. So he shows up to her place and basically explains why he's there. You know, he knows that she's blacklisted, and the only way she's going to get back into the business is if she gets him Peacemaker. So it's unclear if she really wanted to do so. Blah blah blah. We have Vigilante at the cabin with a bunch of doors to get put on there so they can figure out how that's going to work. Then we have Peacemaker getting texting Hardcore, who Hardcore then texts that they should meet. And he takes Vigilante's car to go find Hardcore. Now, to be Hardcore, sorry. And basically, they're trying to explain, like, everyone's trying to explain to him, like, do you think it's a really good idea? And he goes, I don't know, but I'd rather have answers than not at this point. So he leaves and goes there. So the episode ends with Peacemaker on his way to the place that Hardcore suggested, and the entire team is waiting at this new location for Peacemaker to show up. One other scene that I didn't talk about is, I believe it might have been the final scene, to be honest with you. But the weird eagle hunter dressed in pretty much nothing but eagle feathers does this ritual where he uses his blood from the wound to make a blood eagle, which then causes him to astral project to find out where Eagly is, and actually gets the location of where Eagly is, which is Peacemaker's grandfather's hunting cabin. And that is where the episode ends. So the next episode is going to be a confrontation between Peacemaker and Argus, along with Argus going to oh my gosh, the hunter's cabin to find well, I shouldn't say randomly, but would accidentally find the new portal to the pocket dimension. So that's where I'm believing the next episode is going to be. There's only 4 episodes left, so I'm very curious to see where the rest of the series goes. But we'll have to wait and see from there. But for right now, this is looking like we're going to finally get a huge confrontation between him and Argus. And we're also going to see if Hardcore is actually going to be on his side or not, which will be very interesting to see. But let me know what you guys thought about this episode down in the comments below. Did you like it? Did you not? And why? And as always, if you like the content you see, please make sure to like and subscribe down below. Other than that, this is going to be Beastly Eel signing out. Have a wonderful night. Bye bye.